special. I love this because we're joined now by some of our Cityline experts and their teens. So we're going to talk about keeping kids grounded and the hopeful side of social media and parenting. So also joining us for this discussion is Dr. Vanessa Lapointe. We're so happy to have you here, Doc. And of course, our lovely experts. So I'm going to start with our other doc, Dr. Dixon. She's like, no, today I'm Marjorie. Okay, today you're Mom. What's the best advice you've given Nathaniel, who's out in our audience right now, when it comes to social media?
It lasts forever. So unless you want it published in the Globe and Mail when you're going to be Prime Minister or doing something fantastic,
no pressure.
Don't put it out there.
Don't put it out there. Okay, I love that advice, and it's something I think we all need to follow.
Right.
But I'm going to go to Nathaniel now because I want to know, Nathaniel, from you, what are your thoughts about social media and what has it been like navigating social media? Oh, yes, you can take my mic. You go. He's just like you, Marjorie.
Okay, well, I've been using social media since I was very young, and she's like you said about like being the prime minister and all that. She's really like advocated for me being like careful what I post.
Yeah.
She kind of monitors me a bit, a little bit controlling sometimes.
She's your mom. She's a mom.
But yeah, she really like. She advocates for me to be careful with what I post, so I keep like a close circle of my friends, and I only like say what I have to online to them and no one else. Like I don't really post a lot. I kind of just consume.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, she's your mom. She has to be a little bit controlling. It's okay. All right, Alana, over to you now. You share a really great relationship with your daughter, Sophie, who's here. So do you think Sophie would come to you if she was ever in any online trouble?
I think she would. You know, we do have a really great relationship, and we talk a lot about everything, not just social media. So she's pretty good on social media. She's got a good head on her shoulders. But I do think if she feels uncomfortable about something or feels like maybe she crossed the line about something, I do think she would come to me, and we'd have those discussions that we already have, which is good.
Okay, well, Alana, I'll be the judge of that. Just joking. I have Sophie with me in the audience. Okay, you've started an online business. You're doing really well on social media right now. You started this during the pandemic. Do you think social media is a positive place for you? And if so, what do you love about it?
I definitely do think it is like a positive place for me. It definitely like helped me like get a lot more self-confidence and stuff, like being able to like talk in front of people and everything.
Yeah.
And it really helped me like grow my business, like being able to like post on Instagram on like a regular basis. It really helped with that. And personally, I think it's really entertaining and it's fun to watch. And there definitely are some negative like aspects to it. Yeah. None that have affected me, but I think that if there were some that have affected me, I would definitely be able to go and like talk to my mom about it.
Good. Okay, you pass. You both pass. Very good. All right, Leanne, you don't love social media for Nolan, your son, do you? You're kind of like me.
You know what? It's a love-hate relationship. Nolan is pretty great in terms of recognizing when he's overusing various platforms. As much as I'll get the eye roll when I tell him to get off of social media, he does acknowledge that he appreciates the reminder. So I appreciate that he sees he's on there too often. I think my bigger concern with him is that I feel like he's filling the void of real social interaction with social media. And I'm constantly encouraging him, like, go out and see people's real faces instead of a screen. And he's much more comfortable just being home. So I don't know if it's a generational gap on my part that I think he should be out face to face, or maybe this generation, this is just how they communicate.
Nolan, what do you think? Do you feel like social media is adversely affecting you at all, or it's making your attention span a little bit shorter, or you don't want to see people in real life?
Yeah, a big problem is, like, recently, now whenever I hang out with people in person, we all end up just, like, sitting on our phones, and that's a big problem. Yeah. And I feel like that developed over the pandemic because you weren't even allowed to go out, even if you wanted to, and there were a lot of barriers that, like, limited what you could do during the pandemic, and everyone just, like, their coping device was their phone. So everyone just went to use their phones instead of, like, talking to people or doing stuff like that. And then now, after the pandemic's kind of died down, we've still kept what we learned to, like, do during the pandemic. That's the only thing that I think is, like, bad.
No, I hear you, and I respect your candor there. We all threw out the rule books on social media, the screen time during the pandemic, because they had to be with their friends, right? So I'm going to bring in registered psychotherapist Vanessa Lapointe now to help us understand how to parent teenagers within this social media backdrop. So Vanessa, you know what my kids tell me? They say, Mom, we're fine. Get over it. We're good. We think it's entertainment. We're having a fun time with it. I'm not convinced. So tell me why most teens don't have any issue with it. They don't sense the danger. Like, is that something we should be concerned about?
It's our teens' job to not sense the danger. It's part of their developmental period that they're in right now. You can't go and grow and be in and of the world and find yourself and chew on all the big issues that you're going to have to along that path if you're frightened. And so they kind of shed that fear. And the challenge that we're faced as parents right now is how to help them develop a healthy kind of fear and at least an awareness of how to navigate that world safely.
Now, how do we as parents stay a step ahead of our teens? Because we cannot police them 24/7, nor do I even have the desire to police them 24/7. So what should we be doing?
I think there's two things that we can keep in mind. I think first off, if we really go to the root of what Sophie's mom was talking about, where you have that good relationship already in place, your children are going to desire to fall into line with you more or less if you have that relationship working for you. So that's number one. And number two is to realize as parents, we were never meant to go this alone, none of it. And so to look to the village and how do you bring the village into the social media world for your children, that you're part of their social media world, that your friends are also following your children. And so it becomes a social experience rather than this very isolating thing that kids exist in on their own.
I love that. And I know that I've been following my friends' kids for a while, but now I need to get them to follow my kids so that there's just some eyes, like some hands at their back, just watching them and making sure they don't fall off. What's the best way to facilitate these tough conversations with our teens or our children when they're just sort of like, yeah, whatever, I'm good?
The idea is to know that we can never go in with direction if we haven't begun with connection. So we connect in order to direct. We join with them in their world. We get interested in the things that they're interested in that moment, or more broadly speaking. And once we're connected, when attachment is high, resistance will be low. So we want that connection working for us, and then we can door open those tricky conversations.
I feel like this works for couples too.
It really
Right?
does. You're
Connect
welcome.
first. Yeah, thank you. Okay, before you go, for parents out there, are there any warning signs that parents can look out for so that you know, okay, things are going wrong? Maybe the social media thing has gone too far and things might not be working there. What do we look out for?
We're looking for changes. So
Okay.
changes in terms of things that we used to love, we no longer engage with. We are hiding ourselves away. We're changing the way that we eat. We're changing the way that we sleep. We're changing whether or not we're attending school. Our grades at school are changing. So if you notice any big shifting in your child in those ways, those are good signs that you want to be checking in.
Good tips, right? Oh my goodness. And thank you so much to the teens out there as well. Thank you all for joining.